is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at a couple videos, a live stream and a few other bits and bobs. Because the other day I did a live stream on this channel going through the Lolcow live show dunking on Chantal. Now they showed clips where the audio was a brutal listen to, I will admit. I want to show you how Chantal handled that because she has a habit of writing checks with her mouth. The moment the receipt is received on her end, she immediately becomes a turtle and shrinks into the shell. To do this, she set herself a challenge. I should also point out, much of the commentary she had created, she has since privated because she likes to write these checks, but also believes that by privating or removing the videos entirely, privating is the go-to, that she is now free of consequence of it. I, like many others, have these videos. I'm pretty sure I still have the Crunk stream when she went and got drunk in Cuba, which is one of my favourite streams of all time. It's right next to the stream of the Skeptics post-VidCon raging against somebody with crazy hair. It was hilarious. And a video of an episode that for the longest time was not available anywhere called 8 out of 10 Cats the moment Jimmy Carr got done for tax evasion. That one episode was kinda haram for years. I thought it was hilarious, personally. Anyway, Chantal has set herself a challenge because she's deleted her dunking on FFG and Yarba because she can't handle their commentary, even though they were both on point, and has set herself a 7-day challenge where her audience will hold her accountable. Sure. There are additional things we need to mention also, and that is that Chantal is in her car. The Temu thing, the really cheap car, okay? The reason why is she's driving herself about because Salah will not entertain her on this at the moment. He will not help her, and that is going to be a prevalent problem until business picks up, because she screwed this for herself, and I'm here for that. I think we all are, though, at this point.
Hello. I have some things I want to talk about the YouTube Underground and Rage Potato FFG being on Lolcow Live. Just gonna put it out there. Keem ran a circus, a clown show. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
According to the like to dislike and the vast majority of comments underneath that particular live show, I would disagree. I will admit there was an awkwardness when Kai Bella, which you haven't mentioned, was on the show, but I think it's because she acted incredibly high. I think they realised as well she was anxious and a bit, yes. As far as FFG or Frenchie and Yarba, both did with the time they had incredibly well. I would argue Yarba put on a better performance, but they both did well regardless. They didn't talk about too much hate. I think the incest thing was a bit meh. There's no proof of it, and if Yarba is friends with your mother, that could be confirmed, to be honest. However, utterly irrelevant, although it would explain certain issues you have in your head. If it's embarrassing for anyone, though, it is only embarrassing for you. Now, you go over a few points here, and I want to focus on 2 very important points you make in this video before we go to the next video.
You have no idea who these people are, so you're going to learn today. Number 1, I'm dying of laughter because I knew if FFG and Yaba, being the disgusting fat cowards they are, went on any panel, they're not going to cam up. Please do me a favor. Please ask them to cam up the next time they come on.
So there are 2 points with the cam up thing. Firstly, Keemstar does in fact prefer it if everyone is on camera because he can talk directly to you, right? It's important he can then be sure that you, the guest, are paying attention and are doing your part. FFG, though, and Yarba did brilliantly without having to be on camera. And Frenchie, I believe, does not go on camera at all anymore anyway. I don't believe Yarba does much either. The second point is you're hyper-focusing on what they look like, because apparently what they look like contradicts everything they have to say about you. Some kind of negating. But it doesn't change what they said. The majority of it was, in fact, factual.
I heard Yaba say that I bully her. I bully her. I bully you? Look at her channel. Do I have thousands of videos on these women? These creatures? No, I don't.
This is the first of one of the key points I want to make. One of the reasons you don't have many videos on your haters is because you private them after they've gotten views. You've been mass downvoted and received a whole slew of vitriol and negative in comment form. And the haters have had a chance to respond to it. You admitted, and in fact, Yarba and Frenchie admitted it as well, The entire community exists around you because of you. Commenting on you does better than you do. You can't deny it. It's verifiable at this point. Your analytics are not on your side. Especially since you well and truly poisoned the well and now can't get onto Lolcow Live as a permanent host. Congratulations for screwing that one up. On to another point, and it's an important one I didn't really get into much on the live stream, concerning a video you played of Nada.
I'd never smoked crack in my life. First of all of these things that they're talking about were from more than 3 years ago, or about 3 years ago, okay? This guy, she's saying that they say I chased around. First of all, I went through, and it's all documented. Go look up Sam's Bar Lounge video. Actually, I'll play the clip for you.
I can't play the clip in question. The clip in question concerns Dee Dee and Nada. And Nada, off camera, but you hear it, commits an act of People got very cross about this, because Chantal's using it to frame an argument, which we're about to get to. This is in poor taste to poison the well, essentially. She is very, very good at trying this. She doesn't do very well at executing it, because people point, when you know the law enough, that this is weak. But I'll play her follow-up comments to the video I can't show you.
This is the guy that they're saying that I chased around. They're saying that I made up forged documents at the police station. That's a f***ing lie. That's a bullshit lie.
Now here's where the discrepancies are for you, Chantal. You say that they say you chased him around. Every time payday came around, you two were going to a 1-star motel. You vlogged it. It's in my end of year reviews. In 2022, when I first properly delved into this, you went to a 1-star motel with him on payday where you got confused by a chair and then started talking about how amazing you are as a starfisher.
Now, I went to the police station and I never filed a false report. Prove it. You have not seen the report. When I wanted to retract the report, I said that I told the police that I was mentally ill and I wasn't remembering the facts correctly and I was exaggerating them.
He was, to you, what you wanted. I'm not going to try and deny or refute any claims of DV that you may have been a victim of, but you're trying to poison the well by saying that this demonstration of a man was never worthy of you in the first place. That's not true. You reap what you sow, and you chased this guy. You drove down the snowy road, whatever it was called, that road you used to drive down, just to go hook up with him and do far too much at once. Everything with you was never done in moderation. It was always done to excess. Now there's one more point, although there are many really in this video, I want to highlight, and it's what made Keemstar rage quit Lolcow Live.
Her and her wife.
I'm sorry, this is her disgusting Yaba's history, my bad, not her husband.
Have bullied somebody with mental illness. They deleted themselves. I'm not saying that's the reason, but it didn't help. Her husband came on.
I'm already done. I'm already done. No, I will not hear any more of this. I will not. What you just did is fucking evil.
So after this, after Keemstar, Boogie, Wings and others flayed the living feck out of Chantal, sautéed her, she was served al dente, she went into turtle mode, receded into her shell, decided to try again. Not angrily or aggressively, but by being better, everyone. Let's go to that piece of train wreck.
I'm not going to be in rivalry, in fights, in competition with anybody in life, on the platform, off the platform, except with the person I was yesterday. That's the person I'm trying to fight. So,
as you can tell, Chantal is big, beautiful me again. She's reborn in the driver's seat of that crappy car. There are questions, of course, many will ask when it comes to where she sat in that car, why Salah is not there. I should point out something, by the way. During the video I only showed you some pointers from, she talks about Salah being successful before she got there, how it's illegal for man and wife or man and woman not to live together. If they're not married, that is, they're not allowed to live together even. He doesn't live with her, and she acknowledged that earlier in the video by pointing out that he has his own place and his own car. So about that marriage, eh, Chantal? You got that from some Elvis impersonator on eBay, didn't you? Back to this though, I'd like to see how she's going to try and stay clean for 7 whole days.
So I am going to be doing a challenge on my channel and in my life. Yes, I need you guys to hold me accountable for this. Here we go.
I like the novel idea of her audience holding her accountable, because in the past, whenever anyone does in her chat, especially live stream format, Chantal has a trigger-happy finger and actually bans her beezers for it. They hold her accountable and tell her to stop getting involved in drama. She screws her face up, acts like it's funny, and then bans them, even if they're a top dollar. Like, fam, don't ask your audience for help. You're too busy regulating, cultivating your own comment section to make it look like the enemy is actually everyone else telling you you're a terrible person. You created the community, I'm afraid, Chantal. You are the Canadian Lolcow. Everything negativity-based that is around you and your gravity is entirely of your own machination, your own design. Reap what you sow. It is your karma.
It's actually going to be a no drama challenge. You know, I always come on here and, you know, I always say that I'm going to do a lot of things, and I don't do half of the things I say I'm going to do, and that actually, like, bugs me. Changing is not it's easier said than done, but I really, really, really don't want to be dragged into drama online. I don't.
The problem you have there, Chantal, is your video views are trash. Your live streams save you. Your video views are as bad as mine, and at the stage of your channel's career, you shouldn't be at that. You should be better. Let's ignore the fact you bought some of your subs, or Salah did for you. Let's ignore that, and focus on the fact that you have been stagnant for years. When you're not involved in drama, your views get even worse, because you don't have many genuine beezers, you have lots of trolls. You created that again, so try not to think of them too much as the real deal, the real McCoy. Focus on the fact that they're there to watch you suffer. If you take the drama away, you're not going to be choking the channels criticizing you, because they're going to criticize the fact that you're not doing anything drama related, and you'll eventually bite the bait. You always do. 7 days is not long enough, and you won't be able to stick to that for too long. You might do 7 days, you won't do 8. It is believed to impact meaningful change in one's life. It takes 21 days at the very least.
Like how it makes me feel. I don't like how it's the negative vibes it gives off. It's just not healthy, and it's really just time consuming, and I can think of so many ways to focus on myself and better myself that I just don't want to focus on anything else. You know, I want to focus on becoming a better person.
The thing with what Chantal is saying here, she always says she wants to be a better person, but she's unwilling to make the actual commitment to making that positive change. To make positive, impact positive, and alter who you really are, you'd have to go back to the very basics. You need professional help, and you haven't even got the money for that. You haven't got it, and you're unwilling to commit to it. When it comes to exercising, for example, you can barely do a waddle. Your walking pace is so slow, it's so bad, and you make it seem like you're a champion. But the very next day you're eating Burger King again. You cannot commit. You genuinely believe by doing one workout where you burn maybe 30 calories, you can justify a 1,300 calorie meal. To impact change, you have to change everything. For you, that would also include Foodie Beauty.
That I always say I want to, and part of that is, actually I was watching a podcast from a Muslim woman, and it just really, really made sense to me, and it made me feel enlightened after that podcast. And I realized that the no drama and the positive vibes have to start with, you know, changing how you entertain yourself.
Well, if you want to do that, I highly recommend you stop LARPing as a Muslim revert, because that's not the real you, it's the you who you think you want to be, to maintain a facade of the ideal, perfect, utopian life. It's clearly not that, because I've got a copy of that FFG Yaba Rage video. It's really bad. You want to turn the other cheek, show everyone you're a better person, but you only ever do it after you've been clarted at by a bigger YouTuber. When you got mocked to high hell by Lolcow Live and they made bank on that stream, you were annoyed. You realised there was no going back, and you were never going to be on Lolcow Live again. The moment you realised that, and you realised you'd offended your husband, he wasn't going to make the money you thought you were going to make, he kind of got pissed at you. Not just because of money, but because you besmirched him. It's why you're driving the car, because he won't drive you around, he won't pick up your food, he won't deliver your Uber Eats or Deliveroo or whatever it is you use. It's why you live on cheap knockoff food. and then take away for the content. Foodie Beauty to be Foodie Beauty again, to be less controversial, would have to go back to the old days before Nada, when she was doing videos and vlogs, going to the gym, showing us a meal prep, you know, before she started getting high to almighty, and raging on stream and not washing her hands when she went toilet. Yes, the crass stuff did you no favours, but that's because of your inability to not do something that isn't in excess. You follow this video up with another in-car video, and I want to go there briefly, just to touch on a couple bits.
Beauty bite! Alright, here goes. The chips feel a little bit stale.
This is Chipotle, by the way. Chantal wanted to record it, blah blah blah, didn't, blah blah blah. It had been suggested in her cultivated comments perhaps taking this home and doing a mukbang, doing her chores instead to keep up with the positive energy, as opposed to the toxic gossip train, as it were. As always with Chantal, if it's not greasy, if it's not super crunchy, like deep fried, she's not the best or biggest fan of it, right? That is a massive portion, I will admit. For someone her size, it's a medium.
The chicken is tender, it's a little salty, and I like salt. So the chicken's a little too salty. The grill flavor is nice. It's tender. It's hard to like. The rice is well cooked. I've had a burrito bowl before where the rice was like crunchy, and so that's why I say that.
The word you're thinking of is tardig, since it's Persian. There are other versions for other nations, but since you're in an area of the world where Persia at one point did exist, tardi, I hope that helps. It's called culture. I can tell you're not a fan though. That's interesting. I don't really mind, personally, but I don't eat rice that often anyway. But you like your carbs. You're a big fan of them, and your salt. Actually, you're a fan of everything to excess, so I guess you're just a fan. A flatulent fan.
Okay guys, well,
Thank God for that. Now this video was quite long, and she spends the entire time essentially reviewing the food, vaguely talking about things she has to do. I think she's learning lessons from Amberlynn Reid, in the respect of telling us what she's going to do, but not showing us anything, doing anything relevant to what she's talking about. This is her first attempt at trying to not get involved in drama. I look forward to seeing you continuing in your efforts to make it seem like you're a more professional creator. While sat in the driver's seat of a car you do not want to be the driver in, because you look remarkably uncomfortable. For your size, you need to be in the passenger side without the steering wheel pushing up against your gunt. Fupa thing. That area. Yes. You, Chantal, have put your tail between your legs, kissed your rear end goodbye to the opportunity you could have had when you got on well with other guests. When more information came out, it was a guarantee you weren't going to get it. Your response was to say it's lies because, and then insert nada because you need to, using a clip of him harming another person to talk about your harm, but with no proof for anything you say, and the fact you tried to have it thrown out anyway because of reasons. Your all over the place attitude back then really did you no favours. It is possible you were a victim of it, by the way. It really is. But your own actions and behaviours of crying wolf have poisoned the well for yourself. It's why I mentioned it earlier. It's a track record you have and you should be so proud of.
Very moist, miss. Ew.
Maggie Moist Miss.